everyone. I am MrGamingGuitarist, and holy shit, that was the greatest fucking episode of Arrow in years. I, I mean, I don't even know where to begin, but I think the reason why I loved this so much is because it reminds me of that episode of Batman the Animated Series where Bruce Wayne was stuck in a dream and his parents are still alive, and he's marrying Selena Kyle and all this stuff. And this feels like the Green Arrow version of that, but the way that they were able to integrate all the stories and how it fits into the crossover, and yet it still felt like a really personal Arrow episode. This was just incredible to watch. I wish every episode of Arrow could be as amazing as this one, but unfortunately they are not. But so whenever we do get an episode that is as incredible as tonight's was, we have to cherish that moment because we don't know when that moment's going to happen again. But oh my god, this was so good. Oh. And when was the last time you ever heard me get this excited about Arrow? Okay, where do I begin? Okay, so at first, they faked us out at the beginning by making us think like, oh, this looks like the season 4 premiere when you have Oliver in a green hoodie, which is not the Arrow suit, running in what looks like a neighborhood, but then bam, you see the Queen Mansion, and it was like, and you're thinking, in your brain, you're thinking, what? I couldn't believe it. It's been so much. It feels like a lifetime ago, the last time we saw the Queen Mansion, and then you notice. Well, thank God it's not Felicity that is living with him. It was actually Laurel, and they're getting married, and it's like, what the hell is going on here? Well, first of all, I was not expecting to see Laurel this episode, but then again, this is the 100th episode, so I knew there had to be something special and different with this episode, and that's what I got. So, it was good to see Laurel again. I've had my problems with her character in the past. I believe most of you know that, if you don't know that already. But anyways, this just gave me so many flashbacks to season 1. Because you've got that, and then you've also his parents are alive. We get to see Robert and Moira Queen together, like, in a brand new episode of Arrow. How fucking mind-blowing is that? And all the talks that they have, all the performances for this episode are just great. What else do I want to mention? Oh, that scene when we get another Batman vibe where we get to see this mugger, trying to kill Robert Queen, and then later on we find out Diggle is the Green Arrow in this dream sequence, and yet the last time we saw Diggle in the Green Arrow costume, it was when excuse me, it was in season 1, back when they tried to interrogate Moira for something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think that's the reason why I love this episode so much. It's because it took me back to a time when I was first discovering Arrow, and it took me back. This episode feels like something, it felt like it was truly going back to its roots, and I loved it. And I loved how sometimes, the episode feels random, and slowly over time, Oliver and Sarah and Thea and Diggle and Ray all started getting their memories back, and I kept wondering, why is it that it's just them in this dream sequence? And then I realized, oh, maybe the Dominators picked them up, chose to abduct them because they're the ones that don't have powers. That never once crossed my mind. But anyways, I just really enjoyed that. It's just, oh my god, if you thought my brain, if you thought I was loopy and I couldn't process everything during last night's episode, this was a thing because so far this is the best episode of the crossover. And if you told me yesterday Arrow would have the best episode of the 4-night crossover, well, 4-night, even though I don't really count Supergirl as being part of the crossover because Barry and Disco only showed up only 10 minutes. But anyways, yeah, this is just incredible to watch. And there were so many times, and here's the thing, I go from season 5 thinking, okay, sure, whatever, and then I think, oh, okay, this is fine, this is okay, I can watch this is good. And then we go to this episode where no joke, I cried 3 times during this episode. Once when they showed up at the dinner party, or the rehearsal dinner, I think it was, or something like that, where we saw where it was Oliver saying I'm sorry to his parents, and saying that you're not real, I have to leave. That was heart-wrenching. And then when he was talking to Thea saying, I don't want to leave this place, please don't make me go. And they were saying, what's the point on all this? What if this whole thing's the reward? And he said, you've got, and Thea just keeps saying, there's already the Flash and Supergirl. They can take things. We can stay here where things are good, are happy. We have everyone still alive. And seeing just how completely heartbroken Thea was, and her losing it, and Oliver trying to explain to her that it's not real, that fucking made me cry. And then, okay, but then how fucking amazing is it that scene at the front lawn where we got to see Deathstroke and Damien Dark and Malcolm Merlyn all fighting everyone all at once? That was just incredible to see, even though, it's all a dream sequence. But the fact that we got to see the 3 of them there again together, that I just mind blown, But I also really love that move that they did when, I think what it was Thea stabbed Malcolm, and then she shot an arrow, and then Sarah caught it and stabbed Damien Dark with it. That was just, oh god, the combo moves. And speaking of combo moves, it's funny because like the actual quote unquote crossover, well, other than the fact that Sarah and Ray were part of this dream sequence, it felt more like an Arrow episode, because Sarah and Ray originally started off on Arrow. But I just really loved I never thought that I would be saying that the actual modern present day stuff would be the least exciting thing. But while this was going on, I just wanted to keep going back to the dream sequence because it was so good. But anyways, well, we got to see a nice scenes between Wild Dog and Supergirl and Flash, and we didn't really get to see them do that much, which is a little unfortunate. But maybe during Legends of Tomorrow, this will be the all full-on finale, just non-stop action, non-stop hype, which is what I want tomorrow to be, because this episode definitely felt like a breather. But man, it's, oh god. Okay, what was I going to mention? I really liked how Wild Dog said, I don't like people with superpowers, but if there are people with superpowers, it's good that you're the ones that have them. And I really loved how I don't know who the villain was, but the girl with the she's not I mean I want to call her Cyborg Supergirl because she has the cybernetic eye just like Hank Henshaw did, but I don't know what her name was, but anyways, when I think Supergirl like punched her, and then Barry came to the other side and whacked her again. That was such a good double team combo move. Oh god, it's. But anyways, so we got to see a little bit of that, but I'm still impressed at how much I loved this episode. Like, pretty much, let's put it this way. This episode felt like, in my opinion, the best parts of season 1 of Arrow with season 1 and season 2. Like, it felt back to those days. And that's why this episode, I loved it so much. And, and the thing is, like, I was able to hold it in, but I almost lost it again when, as they were going in that Smoke Technologies building, they were going through the portal, and Oliver just sees the holograms of Moira and Tommy and, what was it? Of Moira, Tommy, and Robert. That almost got me choked up again, because it's just, it strikes you right. It's funny to say that something's nostalgic, even though season 1 was only in 2012, and yet you think of how much time has passed in your personal life and everything that all the characters and all these shows have gone through. It is a long time, but my goodness, I'm speechless. I'm still surprised I was able to make this review. But anyways, I doubt it's ever gonna happen. Okay, I can't say I doubt it since season 5, since this episode was such a huge delight to watch. But man, I hope Arrow could always stay this consistent, like the good old days of season 2 just never ended. But anyways, this was such an incredible blast from the past to watch. I thoroughly loved every minute of it, and I especially liked how when they were escaping the pod, and then I didn't know how. I didn't exactly think that the Wave Rider would show up when it did, but when it did show up, that was such a good transition. And Diggle and Thea freaking out about the Wave Rider, and Thea saying, "I didn't know that. Oh, this is twice the amount of spaceships I thought I'd see in my lifetime." It was, man. It's just I can say already. This is already the greatest crossover from the CW, and this is already some of the greatest television I've ever seen in my entire life. If you've got a problem with it, go ahead and say what your problem is, but if you want to insult me about it, just know that it won't affect me. Because I don't know why, but I just feel like I have to fend off any trolls. And anyways, of course, this episode was a 100 out of 10. And anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm Mr. Gaming Guitarist. If you're new to the channel, you can subscribe by going to you can subscribe to the channel so you can watch my review for the conclusion to the crossover with Legends of Tomorrow. And you can also watch me every week on the N4G TV podcast, on the N4G TV YouTube channel, and you can support my channel on Patreon. So those are my little plugs at the end. Anyways, I'll see you for Legends of Tomorrow review tomorrow. I have to stop saying tomorrow that close together between words. Anyways, I'm going to stop rambling. Bye.